Okay, I think we are live. Yeah. Hello, world. In this week's episode, I'm going to do my spoiler-free review of Predator Badlands. And then I'm going to kind of speculate and predict where the franchise is going to go from here. But before I get to that, I got some birthdays that I want to go over and the weekend box office update. So let's start the show, shall we? Live from Niagara Falls, it's Mr. Flickster's show on Saturday night. Oh, hold up. Take two.
Welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking on my video.
Hello, world. I'm Chris Maitini, aka Mr. Flickster.
Mr. Flickster.
Oh, here I am. I'm back. Thought I lost you for a second, but I'm here. Okay. So before I get to the main event, let's talk about some birthdays. We got a lot of birthdays this week. So let me just share the screen and we'll get right to it. There we go. I'll just put myself in the corner. There we go. So the first birthday is Jamie Lee Curtis. There she is. Let's get her picture up. There she is. Obviously, she's in the more recent Freakier Friday. And she's known for the Halloween movies, of course. But let's see what else she's done. She was born November 22nd, 1958, in Santa Monica, California. She just turned 67. Happy birthday, Jamie Lee Curtis. So let's see. What else has she done? Oh, yeah, True Lies. Okay, we'll get there. She's the director of 2 movies. That's cool. 95 acting credits. All right, let's take a look. Her most recent, too fast, is Raoul Wallenberg, Mission in Action. Sure. And then there's Freakier Friday from this year. Oh, The Bear, the TV show on Disney Plus. Okay, I didn't know she's in that. Oh, she's in the Star Trek show. That's cool. And she's Section 31. That's a movie, I think. Let's see what else. Oh, she's in The Last Showgirl from last year. That also had Pamela Anderson. That's right, she's in the Borderlands movie. And Haunted Mansion from 2023. She was Madame Leota. And of course, Halloween. That's Halloween Ends, 2022. The worst of the franchise. Easily. Oh yeah, she's in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think she won an Oscar for that one, if I'm not mistaken. That was also 2022. There's Halloween Kills. Plenty of Halloween movies. That was 2021, that's right. Those were dark times. Knives Out was 2019. There's Halloween 2018. Let's see, what else? Oh, she was an episode of Veronica Mars. I didn't know that. Or that might be the movie. I think there was a movie. She was in 5 episodes of NCIS in 2012. That's cool. It was in a version of The Little Engine That Could in 2011. That's awesome. Oh yeah, she's in Beverly Hills Chihuahua, 2008. That's a good one. I like those movies. And Christmas with the Cranks. That's a holiday staple for me. 2004. There's the original Freaky Friday. There's Halloween Resurrection, 2002. It gets a lot of hate, but I like that one. It's kind of a guilty pleasure for me. Drowning Mona. Oh wait, Taylor of Panama. I missed that one, 2001. But Drowning Mona was 2000. That's like a dark comedy. There it is. Halloween H2O. That's my favorite one in the franchise. 1998. I got an episode with Gory B Movie where we talk about that one. It's on my channel if you want to watch it. What else is here? House Arrest. That's a good one. I haven't seen that one in a long time. Holy crap. 1996. Apparently she was in an episode of Drew Carey. How about that? For one episode. 96. That's cool. There's True Lies. Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife in 1994. And My Girl too. I forgot about that. I don't really remember that movie, but she was in it in 94. Forever Young. That's got Mel Gibson, I think. 92. It's the first My Girl. I forgot she was in both of those. Wow. Let's see what else. A Fish Called Wanda. It was 1988. I was fishing for that one. I had to. Let's see what else we got. We're in the 80s now. She's in Halloween 3. I didn't know that. Curfew announcer. Oh. Huh. To be fair, I think I've only seen that once or twice. It's not my favorite. And Halloween 2, of course. I love that one. 81. We got Escape from New York from 1981 as well. We got Terror Train from 1980. That one's awesome. And of course, we have Prom Night, 1980. Love that one. And The Fog. That's right, 1980. That's an underrated John Carpenter movie, if you ask me. Speaking of John Carpenter, there's the original Halloween, 1978. Maybe her most famous role. So her first TV series was Quincy M.E. from 1977. And her first movie, she's also in Columbo. That's cool. But her first movie, she's also in an episode of Charlie's Angels. Who knew? Well, let's see. Her first movie role. Oh, it was Halloween. Huh. I should have known that. Damn. Cool. So happy birthday, Jamie Lee Curtis. She also does those yogurt commercials for Activia, I think it is. I don't know, something. So the next birthday, you might not recognize his name, but when you see his face, you'll be like, oh, that guy. Oh, before I do, I just want to make sure I'm still streaming. And we're good. All right, cool. No comments or anything? No comments yet. That's cool. All right, there we go. Where was I? The next birthday. Yeah, you might not recognize his face or his name. It's William Fichtner. But when you see his face, you'll be like, oh, that guy. There he is. He's in a ton of movies. Here we go. Go away. Not sponsored. You're covering his face up. There we go. There he is. He was born November 27th in 1956 on the Mitchell Air Force Base. He turned 69. Happy birthday, William Fichtner. So I'll give you some examples. Go away. I'm not sponsored. Of what he was in. Oh, a little further down. Here we go. Now we're going. He's got 111 acting credits. Wow. I think that's some kind of record on this show. Over 100. So let's go to his most recent role was Talamasca, The Secret Order. Sure. He's got 6 episodes from this year, and then he's in the Gettysburg Address as a voice. Okay. 2005. Cool. Well, he's got a lot of stuff in 2025. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5 things in 2005. 2025. Wow. That's just this year. He is working. What else is he in? Busy Beaver. Some of these I've never heard of before. So let's just scroll down. Oh yeah, he was in Mom. That's right, for 85 episodes. He's the mom's love interest. Let's see. Veep. I didn't watch that in 2019. Let's see what else. Let's just keep going. What stands out? There we go. He's in the Independence Day sequel. That's cool. 2016. Terrible movie though. He's in the Empire show for 4 episodes. That's cool. He's in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Michael Bay versions, in 2014. He's in Elysium, that's right, 2013. That's a good one. And The Lone Ranger was 2013. Let's see, what else? Oh, how about that? He was in Call of Duty. That's cool. He's in the Entourage show for 13 episodes. Drive Angry, there it is, Nicolas Cage. The Accountant, 2011. Wow, that was a long time ago. I love that movie. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. It's so good. Talk about over the top, campy, cheesy, fun. He was in Prison Break. That's right, 59 episodes. I didn't watch that, but I heard things. In The Dark Knight, he's in the beginning of that one. I keep forgetting that. That's right. And he was a voice in Turok. I played that game back in the day. Whoa. And he was in Blades of Glory. That movie's hilarious with Will Ferrell and John Hader. Oh, okay. He was in Ultraviolet in 2006. Oh, yeah. He was in American Dad, 2005. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, 2005. He was in The Longest Yard. That's right. 2005, the Adam Sandler version. Oh, I didn't know he was a voice in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. That's cool. Crash. That's right, 2004. That movie got a lot of heat, though. That's a very controversial film. I don't really agree with it either. But hey, it exists. Equilibrium. That's a cool movie. 2002. Black Hawk Down. That's a good one. Oh, he's also in Play City. Ken Rosenberg. Oh, okay. Oh. I hear it now. What's the worst that could happen? That's a good one. 2011. 2001. Sorry. Pearl Harbor. That's right. 2001. So, I mean, he just pops up. He's a great character actor. Perfect Storm. He's also in Drowning Mona from 2000. Wow. A lot of people were in that movie. Go from 1999. Armageddon. That's right. He's one of the astronauts. He's in Contact. Terrible film. 1997. Heat. That's a good movie. Great heist flick. 1995. Virtuosity is a weird one. 1995. Recommend it for the weirdness. That's right. He was on Grace Under Fire for 8 episodes. 94 to 95. Wow. I forgot he was on that show. That's a good show. What else we got? Malcolm X. That's cool. 1982. Let's see. It looks like his first TV show was A Man Called Hawk in 89. And he was on Baywatch. His first movie is Ramona, but he wasn't credited. In 1990. That about wraps that up. Happy birthday, Fickner. Let's get your picture up one more time. There you are. Let me just check the connection. Still good. Oh, all right. Okay, next one. The next one is Christina Applegate. There she is. Here's her picture. She was born on November 25th in 1971 in Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. She just turned 54. Happy birthday, Christina Applegate. So let's take a look at her body work. A little further down. All right, she's got 83 acting credits. Cool. Let's have a look. Dead to Me is her most recent show from 2019 to 2022. 30 episodes. Wow. She's in Bad Moms Christmas. That's right. 2017. The original Bad Moms, of course. Also 2017. Let's scroll down a little bit more. Oh, yeah. She's in Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Road Chip. Not the best movie, arguably. She was in the Muppets TV show, 2015. In the Vacation remake. That's right. She plays Debbie Griswold in that. Okay. 2015. I didn't see that one. Let's see. She's in The Book of Life. That's a good one. 2014. Anchorman 2. That's right. I keep forgetting there's an Anchorman 2. She's in Chipwrecked. Oh, she plays Brittany. She's one of the Chipettes. Okay. 2011. Hall Pass. That movie's hilarious. 2011. Going the Distance is good. Oops. Didn't mean to click that. There we go. A little further down. Go away. Not sponsored. Don't Go in the Distance was 2010. Cats and Dogs. Revenge of Kitty Galore. The sequel wasn't as good as the first one, but the sequel was 2010. And she's in the Squeakquel for Alvin and the Chipmunks in 2009. She was in The Rocker for 2008. Let's see. What else? The original Anchorman for 2004. Surviving Christmas. That sounds familiar. 2004. Employee of the Month. Also 2004. Well, that's right. She's in 2 episodes of Friends. She's Rachel's sister. I forgot about that. That's cool. Let's see. What else? The Giving Tree was 2000. Jessie, I don't know what that is, but she was in it for 42 episodes. Wow. Mafia, 1998. The Big Hit, 1998. There it is. Married with Children, probably her most famous role. 259 episodes. Wow. 1987 to 1997. I didn't realize I was on for 10 years. Holy crap. I didn't mean to click that. Okay, where are we? Go. I'm not sponsored. Yes. Recently viewed. Okay, where were we? Let's go back to Married with Children. Oh, they got past it. There it is. 87 to 97. Yeah, cool. And then she was in Mars Attacks. That's right, 1996. It's cool to watch people like that kind of grow up over the years because they started off so young and then now they're adults and they're still acting. It's pretty cool. Don't Call Mom, The Babysitter's Dead. 1991. That movie's hilarious. I highly recommend that if you haven't seen it. I heard there was a remake, but come on, how can you remake something like that? It's a classic. And then, she's on the 21 Jump Street TV show with Johnny Depp. That's cool. 1988. I didn't know that. That's why I like looking up what they've done. That's pretty cool. City of the Heart. I think that's a soap opera. 13 episodes, 86 to 87. So 1 season of that. Let's see, what else is there? She was in Charles in Charge and Silver Spoons, 86. And Family Ties. Did I miss that one? Oh, there it is. Family Ties. Yeah, one episode. 87. Thank you. Silver Spoons was a popular show. One episode in 86. And then Charles in Charge for 2 episodes, 84 to 85. Then what else was she in? Oh, okay. Her first movie was something called Jaws of Satan. I love it. 1981. That sounds like a cheesy horror movie that I would love. And The Days of Our Lives was their first TV show. Oh, she was baby Bert Gristle. She was just a baby when she started acting. Wow. Who knew? And that was back in 72. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. She was a year old when she was in that. Wow. It's pretty amazing. All right, we got one more birthday. Oh, no, wait, I lied. We got 2 more birthdays. There we go. The next one is Judd Nelson. Probably most famous for The Breakfast Club. See his picture up here. There he is. He still looks sort of the same. The hair is different. Okay. So Judd Nelson was born November 28th, 1959 in Portland, Maine. He just turned 66. So let's take a look. What else he's done aside from Breakfast Club? Go away, I'm not sponsored. There we go. A little further down. Here we go. He's got 132 acting credits. Whoa. I was not expecting that. His most recent movie is The Final Run from 2025. Uh-oh. Didn't mean to click on that, sorry. I get button happy sometimes. Okay, what else we got here? What else stands out? A lot of these I haven't. Oh, I know Empire. He was in that show. That's cool. 2015 to 2019 for 4 episodes. Let's see all a little further down. Shall we go? If it does, here we go. Let's see. He's in a lot of Transformer stuff. That's cool. Did not know that. Let's see. Oh, he was in Ben 10 Omniverse. That was a cool show. 5 episodes, 2013 to 2014. He was in Heartbreakers for an episode, 2014. Let's see, what else is there? Let's see, a lot of these I'm not familiar with. Oh, he was in 2.5 Men for 2 episodes. That's cool, in 2010. The show Psych for an episode in 2010. The Boondock Saints. Oh, okay. The second one's not as good as the first one. Phineas and Ferb. I didn't know he's in that. That's cool. Let's see. What else is here? He was in an episode of Family Guy, 2007. CSI New York, 2007 for an episode. Let's see, what else is here? And a lot of these I'm not familiar with, so leave comments below if I'm missing anything. Oh, The Outer Limits in 2000 for an episode. That's cool. Let's see, what else? Oh, he was in Steel from 1997. Okay. I guess I'm more familiar with his older work. Oh, he was in Airheads from 1994. That's a good one. Hail Caesar from 1994. Let's see, what else? Oh, he was in an episode of Tales from the Crypt in 1992. That's cool. He's in New Jack City in 1991. That was a good one. Let's see. He was in St. Elmo's Fire in 1985. And there's The Breakfast Club, also 85. Good year, good year. Looks like his first movie was called Rock and Roll Hotel in 1983. Awesome. So not long after that, he was in The Breakfast Club. How about that? Cool. Happy birthday, Joe Nelson. Let's get one last look at Joe. I got one more birthday for you, but before that, let's get back to. Am I still streaming? Yeah, I'm still streaming. Any comments? No comments yet. That's cool. All right, so let's go back. One more birthday. Wait, hold on. Let's see something. Okay, what does that say? Oh, okay. Oh, it's just the title. Okay, okay. Sorry, don't mind me. Let's go back. One more birthday. Howie Mandel. I gotta talk about Howie Mandel. Here's this picture. I used to watch Bobby's World when I was a kid, but I wasn't allowed to watch his stand-up because it was not for kids. So yeah, there's this picture. He looks so different now. I remember him with the curly hair, the Jerry curl. It was kind of like a Jerry curl. Maybe I can find an old picture of him. Hold on. I gotta show this. Yeah, we'll get to that. Gizmo. Little Monsters. I didn't know he's in Little Monsters. Okay, I'm spoiling stuff now. Let's go back. All right, let's go back to this picture. Okay. He was born on November 29th, 1955. That's today. And he was born in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. He just turned 70. He looks pretty good for his age, though. He hasn't aged at all, except for the hair thing. So let's see. I'm curious how many credits he has. Oh, he's got 81 acting credits. Okay, I thought that'd be more, though. Let's do it. And he does that show now. I think it's America's Got Talent. One of those reality shows. His most recent TV show is Flora 999 from this year. And his most recent movie is Family Switch from 2023. Apparently, he's in a Gremlins Mountain Dew commercial in 2021. We'll get the Gremlins. Oh, he does Robot Chicken. That's cool. 2018. Lego Dimensions. That's a video game, but still, that's cool. I didn't know he's in that. Oh, of course, he plays Gizmo in that.
Deal or No Deal.
It's also in Deal or No Deal.
Game show person.
Yeah, it's a game show. I'm not sure what year that was. That might be listed here a little further down because that was like early 2000, mid 2000. Let's see what else we have here. It was an episode of Big Bang Theory. That's right, 2012. That's funny. Let's see. He was in What Would You Do? That was a funny show. He was in Monk. That was a good show too. He was 2 episodes. My name is Earl. He played himself for an episode. Let's see, what else is here? What else stands out? Oh, he played himself in The Nanny for an episode, 1998, The Outer Limits. A lot of people were on The Outer Limits for an episode. That was 97. Let's see, what else? We're in the 90s now. There's Gremlins 2, the new batch, 1990. Did I go by Bobby's World? I thought that was a 90s show, but I didn't see it. Maybe it was an 80s show, and I'm just mistaken by the year. Yeah, I'm not there. Okay. Well, keep searching. Okay, where were we? Gremlins 2. Gizmo, of course. Little Monsters was 89.
Deal or No Deal
Yeah,
was 2005 to 2019.
thank you. Deal or No Deal was 2005 to 2019. Wow. But I didn't see it on this list. Thank you, beautiful. Okay. Anyways, let's see. Oh, he was in Yogi Bear and the Magical Flight of the Spruce Goose. Sure. In 87. That's awesome. Let's see, what else is here? He was in Muppet Babies. Oh, he played Skeeter, an animal. That's cool. For 26 episodes. He was in the Jetsons in 85. That's cool. What else? Gremlins was 84. There it is. And he was in Funny Farm in 83. His first movie was something called Gas in 81, but I didn't see Bobby's World. Disappointing. So I know I saw it. There it is. 1990 to 1998. Whoa, I didn't realize it was on for so long. 8 years for 80 episodes. Wow. Okay, cool. We got there. We found it. So happy birthday, Howie Mandel. Get your picture up one more time. Here you go. Oh, excuse me. Okay, let's go back to me. Here I am. Wait. Here I am. Let's see. No comments yet. That's cool. All right, so let's get to the main event, shall we? This is going to be my spoiler-free review of Predator: Badlands. And then I'm going to kind of speculate on where the franchise is going from here, and the Alien franchise too. Because if you think about it, within the last 3 years, we've had 3 Predator movies, and we've had 1 Alien movie. And there's also that Alien TV show. I haven't seen that yet, so I can't really talk about that. But I have seen all the other movies. So before I do that, let's talk about the newest movie, shall we? Predator: Badlands. Which is a pretty awesome title. It's got like this Western feel. Feels kind of like another show, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Share the screen first. I almost didn't. And what do you prefer, Alien or Predator? Leave comments below and we can talk about it. And what's your favorite film in that franchise? Let's go back to IMDb. Oh, excuse me. Well, scratchy throat. Sorry about that. This gets a poster for Predator: Badlands. If you like what you see here too, and you want to see more, earlier this year I did my review of Predator: Killer of Killers. And then I ranked the Predator franchise. Here's the poster for the new film. So here's the synopsis. A young Yaoja named Dek, an outcast from his clan, finds an unlikely ally on his journey in search of the ultimate adversary. So let's go back to me for a second. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. I forgot to do the weekend box office. I'm just excited to do this. Haha. Okay, so hold on. Put a pin in that for a second. Let's talk about the weekend box office real quick, because there's a lot of stuff that came out that I did want to talk about. I'm still sharing the screen, right? Good thing I noticed now before I got started. We'll just put a pin in that for a second. Sorry to tease you about that. Let's see. Sharing the screen. Okay, good. So let's do last weekend. There's been a lot of new releases out, and I'm very excited to talk about one of them specifically. So I guess that'd be November 21st to the 23rd. Yeah. Because this weekend's still going. I'm just glad I noticed before I got too far ahead of myself. Okay, so for the weekend, November 21st to November 23rd, this is the weekend box office update. So at number 1, we had Wicked for Good. That's the one I was excited to look at. It made $147 million. Holy crap. Number 1 this weekend. I didn't think it would make that much money. Wow. Although when I went, my theater was pretty packed. But I didn't go on the weekend. I went on a Tuesday. And then number 2, dropping 1 spot, is Now You See Me, Now You Don't. It made $8.9 million. But it dropped 57.4%. Wow. Still in over 3,000 screens. That's not bad. It's made $36.6 million so far. Out for 2 weeks. That's not bad at all. And then here we go. Predator Badlands. Number 3. It was at number 3 last week too. How about that? It made $6.5 million. And it dropped 48.5%. So that's not great. But it's still doing pretty well. I mean, it's made it's made $76.5 million so far. So it's doing pretty good. I'm going to kind of talk about the budgets and everything for the other Predator movies too. So at number 4 is The Running Man, dropping 2 spots from last week. It made $5.7 million. And it dropped 65.3%. Holy crap. But it still got $26.9 million. So it's been out for a couple weeks. But you think they'd do a little bit better, though. That's the new Edgar Wright film. I was looking forward to it, too, but I'm not sure if I'm going to catch it in theaters. It's not getting great reviews, to be honest. Number 5 is another new release, Rental Family. $3.3 million for the first week. Not bad. Number 6 is the Sisu sequel. Whoa, try saying that 3 times fast. Sisu Road to Revenge is $2.4 million for the first week. Not bad for independent films. You can tell because, well, that one's Searchlight. That one might not be independent film, actually. Don't quote me on that. Number 7 is Regretting You, dropping 3 spots. It was at 4 last week. It made $1.5 million. It dropped 57.5%. Whoa. But it still got $47.3 million. Not bad. It's been out for 5 weeks. So the box office isn't what it used to be. So let's see. Number 8. Nuremberg. Sure. Dropping a spot. It made $1.2 million. It dropped 50.7%. Whoa, but it still got a wide release. I mean, over 1,000 theaters. It made 10.9 so far. It's been out for 3 weeks. Number 9 is Black Phone 2, dropping 4 spots. Whoa. It made another $1 million, and it dropped 60.4%. Ooh, that's not great. but it is making a lot of money. I mean, it's got 76.4 million so far, and it's been out for 6 weeks. I was lucky enough to catch that when it was still in theaters, so I might do an episode about that down the road. So I'll just keep my opinion to myself for that for now. But it was pretty lucky. That was the last week I called it. I thought it was gonna be the last time, and then after that, it wasn't playing anymore the week after. Black Phone 2. So again, that was $76.4 million after 6 weeks of release. And number 10 is Sarah's Oil, dropping 2 spots. It made another $801,000, but it did drop 64%. So that's not great either. But it made 10 million, 10.3 million. So that should be streaming soon. It was an Amazon movie, it looks like. And then keeping up with the honorable mentions, we got the 11 to 15. Keeper, that's the new Osgood Perkins picture. Dropping 5 spots. Ooh, ouch. $628,000. Dropping 75.1%. Ooh, ouch. God damn. Ooh, I don't usually swear on my show. Sorry, Mom. Sorry. 3.9 so far. I said that weird. 3.9 million. There we go. It's been out for 2 weeks. Ooh, that's not doing well at all. Number 12, The Sentimental Value, going up 5 spots. Oh, good for them. $616,000 so far. Well, that week. Up 62.2%. That's a nice healthy boost. Oh, because they got an extra 123 screens after having, that's a limited release. Wow, 151 theaters. Interesting. And it's made 1.4 million after being out for 3 weeks. So Neon Pictures, shout out to them for having 2 movies in a row, having multiple weeks on there. That's pretty cool. Number 13 is Chainsaw Man, dropping. It was at number 10 last week. $605,000. All these are actually really low. I'm kind of surprised it's so low. Look at all these percentage drops too. Wow. Okay. So Chainsaw Man made 42.5 million after being out for 5 weeks. Begonia, holding on strong. It made $551,000, dropping a few spots though. It was at number 9 last week. This movie is actually not performing very well at all. That's the new Emma Stone movie. 16.9 million after being out for 5 weeks. It came out on Halloween Day. So at number 15, rounding out the honorable mentions, is One Battle After Another, the new Leonardo DiCaprio movie. It made $204,000, dropping 55.3%, making $70.4 million so far. So that's the domestic box office for the week. Very interesting. Now let's check out the worldwide. This doesn't change too often. Unless something makes a ridiculous amount of money overnight. So yeah, these look pretty much the same. You got Neja 2 at the top. $1.9 billion. That's right. Billion. You got Lilo and Stitch with another $1 billion box office. I can't believe that made so much money. I'm not bitter. Number 3, we got a Minecraft movie still. Not quite $1 billion. Okay, I'm a bit bitter about that one. $957 million. That's so close. So close to $1 billion. Okay, moving on. We got Jurassic World Rebirth. It's number 4 of all things. I'm surprised that made so much money. It wasn't a great film, but if you want to hear my review for that, I got a whole episode about that one. And then I review not really review, but I rank the Jurassic Park movies. I call them Jurassic Park movies because I'm a 90s kid. I grew up in that era. This made $68.9 million. So good on them. I just hope the studio doesn't learn the wrong lesson. And I talk about that in my episode. So if you want to hear more, check it out. Number 5, Demon Slayer. $662 million so far. So that's pretty good. Number 6 is How to Train Your Dragon, the remake, the live action one. $636 million. Should I give the live action How to Train Your Dragon a chance? Leave comments below and we can talk about it. I've also got an episode, if you're interested, about all the animated How to Train Your Dragon movies, and the short films. So that's on my channel too, if you're interested. At number 7, we have F1, Holding On Strong. That's the Brad Pitt movie about Formula One racing. I'm still looking forward to that one. That looks pretty good. $631 million. At number 8, it seems like every time I look at those lists, it drops. Superman. It's not doing as well as I thought. I thought it would actually make double, like over $1 billion. 600. I can't really talk though because I didn't see that in theaters. $661 million. At number 9, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Another one I thought would dominate that didn't. I really thought these two would be billion-dollar movies. Mission Impossible got 598. Seems like a sad year at the box office this year. Rounding out the honorable mentions for this one is The Conjuring 4: Last Rites. You can call it whatever you want. It's still The Conjuring 4. Don't confuse people. $494 million. Then we got Captain America: Brave New World and Thunderbolts at 12 and 13. I really thought those would do better too. Well, especially Thunderbolts. That's kind of sad. But Captain America's got $415 million and Thunderbolts has $382 million. Then we got Sinners at 14 with $367 million. And look at that. Shout out to Wicked for Good. It rounded out the top 15 for the highest grossing around the world so far this year. Wow, we made $327 million. Holy crap, it's first weekend. So this might be the next billion-dollar movie. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So that's it for the weekend box office update. Sorry that I almost blew right past that. I'm just excited to talk about Predator. So let's go back to me. Make sure I'm still streaming. Great. And then let's see. How about the comments? We got no comments yet. That's cool. All right. So like I was saying, I already read the synopsis. Let's talk about some Predator Badlands, shall we? Oh, I almost didn't share the screen. Ooh, that was close. Let's see. Okay. Here's the poster. Now let's actually talk about this like I promised. Okay, I just had to get a drink. Sorry about that. So, Predator Badlands. It was directed by Dan Trachtenberg. Sorry about that. And then it was written by Patrick Asen and Dan Trachtenberg. Original characters created by Jim Thomas. It stars Elle Fanning, Demetrius Schuster Kolomatangi, and Ravi Narayan. Yeah, that's the name I screw up on. Sorry about that. The budget for this was $105 million. And like I said before, it's made $162 million so far. So it's already made its budget back. That's amazing. I think it might be one of the highest, but we'll talk about the Predator budgets and the box office and stuff a little bit later on. I can just pull those up on whatever website I can find. Actually, you wrote that stuff down, didn't you, Sabrina? A little while ago?
What stuff?
The Predator information. Would that be in this book?
Yes, I'll find it for you.
Okay, sorry for you. I might even have that information on hand. My girlfriend does all my notes for me. So thank you, Sabrina, for taking my notes for today and all the other episodes that I do live.
You're very welcome.
That's her. I don't know if you can hear her. She's behind the scenes here, behind the proverbial curtain. But anyways. So like I was saying, Dan Trachtenberg. And what I like about him is that he is all about showing things that we've never seen before in the franchise. I mean, think about what we've been given by him so far. He directed Prey. So that gave us a female protagonist versus the Predator. Usually it was all males before. Usually the females were in a group. It was never the main character. So that's something new that he gave us. And then he also gave us an animated anthology film. It's never been done before in the Predator franchise, so that's pretty cool. And spoiler alert, I loved Killer of Killers. But if you want to hear more about that, you can watch my episode. Sorry, just making a quick note here. Okay, cool. Where am I? Find my place. There we go. And then you got this, where a predator is the main protagonist. Again, never been done before. So if you think about these three films back to back to back, what a unique trilogy we have. So I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking the same thing that I was. Why is this movie PG-13 when all the other Predator movies have been rated R except for AVP1? But a lot of people don't consider those canon anyways, but I do, and I'll get to why later on too. So I looked into it. I did some research, and it turns out Trachtenberg has stated in numerous interviews that they were actually aiming for an R rating, but because there were no human characters or like animals that were from Earth, all the gore is regulated to aliens and androids. Therefore, the movie received a PG-13 rating because there's no red blood shed on screen whatsoever. All the blood is either green or you get that white milky substance that's in the androids in all the alien movies. And I can talk about that, how it's included later on too. But again, I'll keep it spoiler free. Everything I talk about is in the previews. You could argue previews make show too much, but I didn't make the preview. So, this flick doesn't disappoint as far as the violence is concerned, but because of the premise, the scenes aren't gory per se. So when the androids get cut up and stuff like that, you just see the white, and then there's a point like you see the typical predator tear out the head with the spine column attached, but it's all androids, so it's just robotic parts. There's no bones or anything like that. There's no blood. It's actually kind of hilarious the way they do that. The action scenes are exceptionally staged and shot. Sometimes. Other times, it's shot and edited so fast that some of the scenes are hard to see. It's just too dark sometimes, as if the cinematography was too bleak. So it was kind of hard to make things up sometimes. Or maybe that was just my theater. It could have just been the way it was lit on the screen. But I've listened to other reviews after writing mine, and a lot of people have the same complaints. Some of those scenes are too dark to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing this on like Blu-ray or a streaming service and like full HD so I can see it on a brighter screen. But the scale for this movie is enormous. I was not expecting such an epic adventure. And it sets the tone for an epic adventure immediately when Deck, the main character predator, right there. Hold on, you can't see me point with my hand. Right here with the pointer. There we go. I'll talk about him in a bit more too. But there's a part where he's trying to land on the ship, but he has to eject. Sorry, he has to land on the planet, but he has to eject from his ship. And the way he crash lands on there is really cool, the way it's shot and filmed.
Can't find it.
Would it be in another book?
I don't know.
So the planet that he lands on is called Genna. Taking place after Alien Resurrection, which was set in the year 2379, I love the world building aspect of this film. This is the furthest in the future that we've gone within the two franchises. The meticulously intricate ecosystem created is the most imaginative I've seen in a while. Hold on, maybe I can get some pictures off of this planet because it's really cool looking. I love the design of this planet. And all the creature designs have very unique, distinct looks. I love the way these alien creatures are designed. So let's get some photos going, shall we? That's outstanding. We'll get to that. That there's the callus. That's one of the creatures. There's Deck. I don't want to give away everything. Eventually, when I talk about the other Predator movies, I am going to get into spoilers. Same with the Alien movies, but I'll warn you. For now, it's nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. Let's see. I don't want to show too much. Let's just get. Here we go. I just want still frames. No, it doesn't have to be that. Oh, wait. No, it doesn't have to be that. Okay, just this. I just want to see if maybe I can show a little bit of this planet. That's a cool picture. Here we go. That's a great shot. Let me have this one. Oh, where'd it go? Oh no, I gotta find it. The forest. Yeah, that's a great shot. So many different environments on this planet, and each one's got distinct flora and fauna. So you never know. That's part of the fun, seeing what's gonna pop up next. So I'm not gonna give too much away, but it is cool. Oh, I do want to show it off a little bit. Okay, I guess I'm not gonna show that much. They show stuff in the preview too. I put clips of the trailer in my commercial for this episode, so you can check that out too if you're interested. I show off some of the creatures there too. Yeah, let's just press stuff. Okay, back to the poster. Cool. If it'll take me there. Yeah. I do like this poster too. It's got that classic movie poster feel. Want to make sure I'm still streaming. Okay, cool. Back to Predator Badlands. Okay.
Okay.
So the special effects in this movie were done by the Weta Workshop. They contributed to the practical effects and the CGI, as well as industrial light and magic. So the two studios worked together. And I forgot to mention it before, but the movie was actually filmed in New Zealand. So it makes sense why Weta was involved. I mean, that's their backyard, basically. And of course, Industrial Light and Magic was involved. That's George Lucas's visual effects studio. So this is a Disney movie. Well, it's a Fox movie, but Fox is owned by Disney. So it just makes sense they got them to do their special effects. And I like how they take different things that we already know from the franchise, like Alien, and put a new spin on it. Like you can see there is the machine from the second one. I forget what it's called, but there's a new version of it in this movie, and it's really cool. And there's that callus again. It's in the preview. That's what he's hunting. That's the unkillable creature, so they say. So according to the writer Patrick Asen, the plot of Badlands is actually his version of the poem Jabberwocky by author Lewis Carroll about the killing of the creature, the Jabberwock, included in the 1871 novel Through the Looking Glass, the sequel to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland from 1865. I love the connection to Alien, the franchise. The fictional company Weyland-Yutani Corporation, created by Dan O'Bannon for the '79 film, appears in this film. I love the subtlety of it all too. There's no xenomorphs or anything like that. There's no like hint of Ripley or anything like that. There's no other characters from like Alien Romulus or anything. But the company's there, and I like that aspect of having that shared universe. How there's different things that they're going to run into. In fact, if you look really closely in Predator 2018, which I talk about in my previous Predator episode, the trophy room contains the retractable ceremonial spear used by the human character Lex in Alien vs. Predator from 2004. This display confirms that the events of that film and its sequel, AVP Requiem, are considered canon in the Predator timeline according to the writers and everything. So that's why I include it in with everything else, because that movie references it. And also, this means that the Predators have been studied by Yutani since the end of AVPR, wherever that fits in the timeline. The timeline is kind of messy, though. But Trachtenberg has said himself that this movie takes place way far in the future, further than anything else in the franchise. So I mentioned a little bit before, so I'll kind of circle back to that now, about how the ninth film in the franchise has a Predator as the main character, named Deck. This is the first time that we've had an actual formal name for a Predator character. Usually, all the monikers for the Predators are just given by the fans based on what they look like. They don't necessarily have names per se until now. Him, along with his brother and his dad, which I'll get to later, all have names. This is where I kind of have issues with the movie overall. To me, a movie following a Predator really takes away from the mystique and the fear of that alien race. I don't necessarily want to peek behind the proverbial curtain. You know what I mean? But I get how there's all these Dark Horse comics, and AVP has been a thing in the comics for a while too. Well, ever since it was teased in Predator 2 back in the 90s. So I get it. There's the demand, there's the need. A lot of people have wanted a Predator to be the main character for a long time. And I've been doing my research, and I was kind of surprised how many people actually wanted to see that in a film. And now we have it. So that's kind of cool. I do respect kind of taking the franchise in new directions, but directions that make sense. And trust me, the first 10 minutes are gripping. Without saying too much, it sets up a Shakespearean-style story with heart, adding dimensions to the Predators as a race overall. Aside from that, the story takes bold swings by humanizing and making the Predators sympathetic. Now, by humanizing, what I mean by that is it's a very emotional role. It's a very emotional performance. And you really do feel for the Predator character more so than any other time before. But then again, you're looking at this character at in a whole new light. It made me rethink how previous Predators grew up and how they ended up where they landed in their prior films. Like Jungle Predator. Now I'm curious, what's his story? How did he end up in the jungle? Was that his rite of passage? It makes you wonder. Just like in Predator 2, when all the other ones show up at the end. Like I said, there's going to be spoilers for the other Predator movies. What's his story? Doesn't it make you wonder now? So I do like how it makes you look at the franchise in a whole new perspective. That is pretty cool. I give credit where credit's due. And again, no spoilers, but the plot does have some unexpected curveballs. One of them I saw from a mile away. It's supposed to be this big shocking reveal, and it really wasn't. So these curveballs, even though they do sort of affect the outcome of the story, there's still that underlying cliche, predictable plot that kind of strips away all suspense. Like, when Deck fights the first monster, he's not going to die right away, otherwise, it'd be a short movie. And even like halfway through, when he's fighting off these different monsters on the planet, he's not really going to die because we're not all done with his story yet. I call that plot armor. And this movie is a lot funnier than I expected too. So I can see how that can turn off a lot of like diehard Predator fans too. I mean, think about it. We have a sympathetic alien and Predator as the main character, and this movie's funnier too. And there's a few other problems I have, but I'll get to that a bit later on too. Before I go any further, let me just check to see if I'm still streaming. All right, still streaming. Cool. And no comments yet. No problem. That's cool. Moving on. So, Deck. This guy. He was played by Demetrius Schuster Kolomatanga. And I gave him a lot of credit for speaking all his lines in this fictional language that was created for this movie. There had never really been a Yautja language before until now. Just like clips and vibrations and different sounds. And I also give him credit for having such an emotional performance and all that special effects makeup. Actually, what I heard they did is they put him in like a full prosthetic bodysuit. So the suit's practical, but then his face, they actually CGI'd in later on. But it looks great. I mean, there's only a few times where you could tell it's CGI, but for the most part, I couldn't even tell it was CGI until I looked into it when I was doing my research. That's awesome. That's good special effects. That's movie magic, which is a wonder that you don't get nowadays with movies too much. So, like I said, I give credit where credit's due. A consistent written and verbal language for the Predators was developed for the film by linguist Britton Watkins. So he's the one that developed all this stuff from scratch. He had like nothing to go on. And then the actors did it. That's one thing I like too. The Predator's always speaking his language. So the whole movie's, when he talks, it's all subtitled. So it kind of feels like a foreign film in that regard. But it'd be way different if the Predator was just speaking in English. I do like how they kept it in a Predator language. It would feel kind of silly after a while if the Predator was talking. Even though it has been established since the first movies, the Predator can speak. But when they were speaking English in those movies, they were just kind of mimicking what they were hearing. Like they were trying to learn how to talk in English. So that again shows how intelligent the race is. There's been a lot of complaints about the Predator talking, and that doesn't make any sense to me because, of course, they're going to talk and have like a written language. They're a sophisticated alien race. I mean, look at their tech, look at their spaceships. The planet was kind of barren, but aside from that, look at all the cool little gadgets that they have. Like, this is a very sophisticated alien race, more advanced than we are. We don't stand a chance against their technology. So I don't know. That just seems like a silly complaint. You'd be surprised the kind of things you read online. There's a lot of silly complaints about this movie that I don't get. Some of them I understand. And I've already touched on a few, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on too. But there's so much emotion going on in that performance through his eyes. I'm talking about Deck. His eyes really do say it all, especially in the beginning. Something happens to him, and I couldn't believe it. Like, oh, his performance, it really is touching. It looks so convincing that I simply accepted him as a living flesh and blood creature. Now, and honestly, I wouldn't mind if the Deck character came back. I have an idea that might be cool. It's kind of a prediction. But anyways, Elle Fanning plays two roles in this. She plays Tia and she plays Tessa. We got Tessa here on the poster. She's remarkable. She's a chameleon playing both roles. As the comic relief and the main antagonist, I never thought about them being the same person. Because of the nuances of each performance. The practical effects makeup helps, but the way she talks, like her cadences when she talks, and the way she uses her body language helps form distinctive qualities about each character. As Thea, she's hilarious. But as Tessa, she could be downright scary at times. So I love that contrast. I give her a lot of credit for that because that must have been hard. And when I was doing my research, I found out that Trachtenberg only had her perform one character each day, like at a time. So if she was doing Tessa's scenes, she would only film as Tessa. But then when she was doing Thea, it was all day shooting Thea's scenes. Mainly to save time with the makeup. You don't want to lose time shooting, doing a makeup change or anything like that. So that makes sense. And that really shows like why the performance is not concise, but why the performance is so good too, because each one is just honed in. It's focused. That's the word I'm looking for. Each focused performance is so good. It's so distinct from each other. And I think that's why, because Fanning, she had time to distinguish those two roles because she played them separately on different days. Mike Homeek plays, I think I'm saying this wrong, Quay, or it might be Qui, which is Deck's older brother. And Ruben de Jronge is Nor, or Nior. Sorry, I might have butchered that. But he's their father and the leader of their clan. Again, playing this part in an entirely made-up fictional language in a prosthetic suit is so commendable. Their fight scenes are especially stunning too, so it is really impressive to see them moving around in these suits, and they're talking in a whole different language they had to memorize and be practically fluent in to shoot these scenes. It's pretty awesome. I give credit where credit's due. I was impressed by that. And last but not least, Rohono Narayan is Bub, a creature of the planet Jenna. I'm not going to say too much about this character, but she's the elephant in the room because she's a little too similar in nature to Grogu from The Mandalorian. And I'll talk a little bit more about how it's similar to The Mandalorian a little bit later on, too. But there's almost a little bit too much Bud in this movie because this character is right here on the poster, right there, is almost a little too cutesy and comical sometimes. And that's another thing I can see hardcore Predator fans not being a fan of. The Predator having a pet that's all cute, and there's a lot of humor based on their interactions together. So take that for what you will. It kind of does bother me, but overall, this flick certainly doesn't remove the spine from the Predator franchise. Let's go back to me real quick. Here I am. Wait. Here I am. How lucky are we to get 2 Predator films in 1 year? I have mixed feelings about it. I'm not completely against having a Predator protagonist, because if you think about it, it did work for movies like Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and Trachtenberg did say that was a huge inspiration for this film. So, it's not completely unheard of. And it's not like having a xenomorph as the main character. Like, I can't imagine an alien movie where that alien is the main character. Because for me personally, I've always kind of seen that xenomorphs have always been more like dogs because they're all about their baser instincts, like feeding and reproduction and sleep and whatnot. So it wouldn't work the same way to have an entire movie with an alien speaking the alien language, if they even have a language, kind of like how animals have their own language, so to speak. It just wouldn't be the same. But I did have a lot of fun with this movie. It was an unexpectedly grand adventure for sure. Let me just share the screen. We'll go back to the poster. Did I do that right? Yeah, I did. I just found myself in the corner. Okay. Where is it? There we go. I just like this poster. It's really cool looking. But essentially, this is the same movie as Prey and a lot of the other movies, but the only difference is we have a predator in the shoes of what we usually have as the human protagonist. And this time we have a predator that's still learning to be a hunter too. They're not a pro like some of these other ones were. Like the whole point of the movie, again, not saying too much, but he's trying to get his invisibility cloak. You have to earn that in the predator culture. And that's one thing I like too. On the one hand, it explores the predator culture similarly to how it does in The Mandalorian. That's interesting. On the other hand, he's got this cute pint-sized sidekick that he rejects at first, only to inevitably have this creature grow on him, similar to The Mandalorian. That's irritating. Mainly because at times this feels like a kid's movie and it feels so far removed from the other Predator movies when you look at the franchise. But again, on the other hand, I told you I got mixed feelings about this. If you look at the Predator franchise as a whole, there's no connective tissue really between the movies. They have little like hints and nods and Easter eggs here and there, but they've never had one character be the main focus for more than one movie, basically. Like each one's a different set of people hunted by different predators. We don't even have the same predators in the same movies. As far as we know, like we don't know how long these creatures live for. I never really read the comics, so I don't know the logistics, like how that all works. So there's that back and forth. Because again, I'm not completely against a PG-13 Predator movie. I mean, look at AVP, the first one. That was PG-13 too. And again, human characters, most of them get killed off screen, so it's not as violent. But it doesn't feel out of place like this one does if you watch them back to back to back. But again, on the other hand, this would be a good entry point for younger viewers who want to get introduced to Predator, but the other movies are too violent and scary for them, so their parents won't let them watch it. This would be a good entry point for them. That's what I mean. I got a lot of mixed feelings about this movie. I go back and forth on it. So, in my opinion, I think this is a disappointing follow-up. I thought Killer of Killers was a better movie, but at the same time, you can't really judge those two movies because they're so different. One's an animated anthology, and this is the live-action movie. That's mainly CGI, so it's basically animated anyways. I don't think there's a shot in this movie that doesn't have a CGI effect in it. So I'm curious why this movie got a theatrical release and Killer of Killers didn't. Because in my opinion, that's a better film, but I'm one of those hardcore Predator fans, and all the stuff I talked about doesn't exactly sit well with me. So again, take that for what you will. But if you think about it, The Mandalorian and The Predator have a lot of other similarities too, because they both feature a lone, masked warrior with advanced technology and a strict honor code, wandering in a dangerous frontier landscape. Both of them do well at blending sci-fi and Western survival themes, and they have this focus on the hunter versus hunter encounter. They also portray warriors as mystic anti-heroes bound by tradition. And they're accompanied by a cute little companion, and eventually a robot. This movie also feels very similar to the first Avatar movie, because in the beginning he gets trapped in the jungle by himself and he's lost until he actually finds the Na'vi. So you got this big dangerous planet and all these big monster aliens trying to eat you. So I kind of found it similar, but I like the planet in this one better than I did Pandora. I think that's what it's called in that planet. I'm not a big fan of the Avatar movies. I haven't even seen part 2 yet. But it kind of reminded me of the first one, that big grand scale. So I think that pretty much covers everything. So let's go back to me. And remove the screen share. Okay. So my official grade for Predator Badlands is medium popcorn. First, when I saw this movie, I was kind of harsh on it, and I was kind of mad at it at first, but then I kind of let it sit with me for a bit, and I thought about it, and it's got its pros and cons, so it's kind of hard to decide if those cons outweigh the pros, because this is a fun movie, and I did enjoy it, but there's my grade, medium popcorn. So take that for what you will. I tried to warn you about what hardcore Predator fans might not like. So, let's talk about these other Predator movies. And Alien. More so Predator. Okay. So, let's go back to... Actually, let's share the screen. I can do a quick little ranking too. I got Letterboxd here. I did a ranking in my last episode. So this won't take very long. If you want to know how I feel about the other, where's my list? Here we go. If you want to know how I feel about my other Predator movies, then you can watch that other video. I'm not going to talk about those ones too much. I'm just going to place this one in the ranking. You know what I mean? If you want to know how I feel about this one. So where is that Predator list? And it was from the summer. Killer of Killers came out in May. So let's go to the next page. If you're interested, you can also look at these other lists I have on Letterboxd. Here we go, Predator ranking. We have to add a film to this one. So I just thought I'd wait and do it live on the air. So let's add a film. Is it going to let me? You can see the ranking here. Further Badlands. Okay, cool. That worked. All right. So, where would I put this? I gave this one a medium. So, this is tricky. I know I enjoyed it more than The Predator 2018 and these two. These are the only two I consider bad. So I don't think I enjoyed it more than Predator on AVP. Well, you know what? Yeah, I'll put it above Predators. Oh, go away. I'm not sponsored. There's the X. Okay. So yeah, that's where I'll place it. I'm comfortable with that. Number 6. Right after AVP. Because I do enjoy these other films more. Killer of Killers is going to be hard to beat. So there's my ranking. Save. I think that's saved. Okay, cool. We can get rid of that now. And here I am. Wait, where am I? Here I am. Okay. So, as far as like budgets go and profits, this one is actually doing very well if you want to compare the numbers. So that's what I'm going to do real quick. The first one, just to recap, had $15 million budget. Hold on, I can pull up some posters while I do this. Let's just share the screen. I'd probably just pull them all up at the same time. Predator. Posters. We'll just leave IMDb. Because I didn't save my collage on this computer. Here we go. We got Predator posters. So this is the first one here. This is $15 million. And it made $98 million at the box office worldwide. This looks like the poster for Predator 2. That one had a budget of $30 million. And it made $57 million worldwide. So not as much as the first one did. That was almost a franchise killer. That explains why it took so long for the next one. After that, we had AVP. In 2004. This had a budget of $60 million, so it had a little bit more. And the gross worldwide was $177 million. So that did very well. No wonder there was a sequel for that one in 2007, AVP Requiem. This had a budget of $40 million, and it made $130 million. It's just too bad that the movie we got was AVP Requiem. And where's the poster for that one? Hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. So many posters. Okay. Of course, I'm not going to show that one. That's okay. I got the poster of my collage, my thumbnail for this video, and for the Killer of Killers video. I had to do 2 separate videos. We're talking about Predator here. So anyways, we had Predator in Predators, taking a note from Aliens when that came out. That came out this one came out in 2010, 2011, I think, something like that. The budget was $40 million, and it made $127 million. So that made a pretty good profit too. And then Predator came out, The Predator, it came out in 2018. I know these titles are confusing. I'm not really sure what's up with the names, but hey, this is what we got. That was made on a budget of $88 million, and it made $160.5. So again, it made a pretty healthy profit back. Then we had Prey in 2022. There's the Prey poster here. Here's the Predator poster. I kind of like that poster. That's cool. The poster is better than the movie. Oh, there's Predator 2. That's a cool poster too. A lot of these are like DVD covers. That's cool. That might be a fan poster. Some of these might be fan art. But anyways, that's a cool one too. All the different skulls. Yeah, I don't see that one. Okay, anyways, let's go back. These ones are pretty cool too. The originals. Yeah. Oh wait, let's go back. Here we go. What about this? There's the AVP poster. Okay, we got there. And I'm not that worried about AVP Requiem. That one, the poster's not great. There's the Predators poster. That's cool. There's the big guy, one of them. Oh, I think I clicked it. No, I didn't. Okay. And then there's the original. Lots of posters. Great. Oh, there's another one for Predators. That's a good poster too. Hold on. I'll go back up a little bit so you can see that one too. Yeah, there it is. Sweet. That's a good one. Awesome. That worked out. So Prey. I didn't see a poster for Prey, but that's okay. That's in my collage too. This one was made with a budget of $65 million, but it wasn't released in theaters. It was straight to streaming. And I couldn't find the information for Killer of Killers. But being animated, who knows how much the budget would have been for that one. So my point is, this one, the new one, was made for $105 million, and it made $162 million. So comparing all these numbers, this one really has made the most. Let me just double check that. Yeah, Predator 2 only had 57. Okay, AVP 1 had 177, so second most. Still, it's doing great. It's a good time to be a Predator fan. Yeah, and then we had Predator 2018 at 60.5. So this one did make more than that one. Yeah, just double checking. So that's interesting, isn't it? And I'm really happy to see that the Predator franchise is booming again, because for a long time it was dormant. So that leads to the main question, doesn't it? Where is this franchise going from here? Love that poster. Sorry, distracted. Where am I? Let's go back. Okay, still streaming. That's great. So there's a few different directions this franchise can go. And Trachtenberg has said that he's in close talks with Fede Alvarez. He was the director of Alien Romulus. And I've also got a video about Alien Romulus too, when I talk about the best movies of 2024. I think that came out last year. It might be my best in 2023 videos, but you can watch both videos. So I think eventually there is going to be an AVP movie, but what's interesting about this one is now we have a Predator protagonist that we can actually root for, that we kind of know, and it's going to play off a little bit differently than what it did before. We didn't know those Predators. Now we have an established protagonist, and Deck. I keep calling him Dex or Dax, but no, that's not right. Sorry, my cat is distracting me. She's making a lot of noises. So that's one direction that they could go. They could do a straight up AVP movie, but I think they're going to do a little bit more than that, because Trachtenberg has also had a lot of interviews where he said that's not quite enough to make a good movie. Like, you got to have a good premise where they meet, and it's got to tell a good story. He's putting story first, which is interesting. So this is where we're talking about spoilers for the other Predator movies. Okay, at the end of Killers vs. Killers, something very exciting happened. In the ice, they showed Naru, which was the protagonist of Prey. And that's something else we'll talk about too, but hold on. Put a pin in that. I don't want to get ahead of myself. But they also showed Danny Glover's character from Predator 2, and they showed Dutch from the first Predator. Arnold Schwarzenegger's character was in the ice, cryogenically frozen. So what they did too is they didn't put those other two in the movie until later on. That was like a deleted scene that was put in the director's cut. And what they did is they premiered that scene at Comic-Con. So as you can see, that was a very deliberate thing that they did. Sorry, my cat's getting into stuff. But that was a very deliberate choice that they made. So I'm thinking, and they have been talking to Arnold Schwarzenegger. They've been spotted together talking. So my main concern with that is if he does a live action movie, it's going to be very limited, because he's like 80 years old now or something like that. Like maybe even older than that. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Can you check the age of that, Sabrina, please? And thank you. Cool. She's going to check the age. But yeah. And Danny Glover too, if you can check on that too. But they're getting up there in age. So it would make sense to do an animated version of that. And as we have seen,
He's 78. Born July 30th, 1947.
Okay, so he's 78 years old. I'm not sure if you could hear that. And Danny Glover? So, yeah, it does make sense for them to be in an animated movie. So what I'm hoping, this might be cliche and this might be dumb.
79.
Okay, Danny Glover 79 too.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So they're
78
both
and 79.
78, 79. So that's what I mean. They're both in their late 70s, getting close to their 80s. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I gotta stop my cat from getting into something.
Get that up.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, I'll do that after. So this might sound cheesy and this might be cliche, and you could hate this idea, or you might love it like I do because I get kind of excited. But they could do kind of like an Avengers thing, where they have Dutch and they have Danny Glover's character. His name always escapes me, but you have Arnold Schwarzenegger, you have Danny Glover, and you have Naru, and then maybe you have like Adrian Brody from Predators. Nobody from Predator 2018. That's okay. We don't have to have those characters back. But there we have 4 or 5 characters that we could team up with Deck to help fight the aliens together. I think that would be a different spin on the Alien vs. Predator movie. Because Trachtenberg is all about putting things, like I said before, that we haven't seen before. So that'd be cool. What if people teamed up with the Predators, one that we knew, and we have all these other characters that we know, and they have to work together to maybe escape from an alien planet or something like that. So that'd be cool too. Now, in Alien Romulus, I didn't really notice any references to predators or anything like that. But even with that, with Weyland Yutani being in this shared universe, that's exciting too. Because what we could do is we could always have maybe Deck gets captured and he's got to fight his way out. But along the way, in this like planet, maybe not really on the planet, but they're in this like space colony, they're in this spaceship, like far out in like deep space, kind of like they are in Alien Romulus, but instead of escaping the aliens, Deck and this group of people are all trying to escape the robots. I think that would be a cool Predator movie. So, I had another thought too that just escaped me. So hold on. Sorry, that happens sometimes. But yeah, Trachtenberg is all about showing things that we haven't seen before. So I'm hoping that maybe we don't have, like, okay, slight spoiler for Predator Badlands, but the end of this one opens up for a sequel too. And it's interesting too because they open the door to have female Predator characters. We never really experienced the female Yautja in the movies before. Like, they've been in the comics for decades, ever since the 90s. So there's different takes on them too. So that would be an interesting thing too. Maybe we can have a movie focusing on a female Predator character. And then maybe she can come across the aliens, like the xenomorphs, some way like that. I just don't want to have.
Direction is it gonna go?
That's what I mean. These are different directions that it could go. They could do like an AVP movie, but do it a little bit differently too, because you have a team, like a group. I know in the first AVP, you had one person team up with one Predator, and they were kind of a team, but they couldn't communicate to each other all that much. But now that they have this like universal language translator thing, maybe they could do this team up movie with these 5 or 6 different characters, and they're all trying to escape like this alien colony or something like that. Or maybe they get lost in space and they crash land on the planet, and then sure enough, there's xenomorphs in it, because there's always something where there's just happens to be xenomorphs there. Like in Alien Romulus, they got that comet, and that's why it was on the ship. But they always do a good job of trying to explain why the aliens are where they are. Even in the AVP movie, I like how they explain like the ritual and the rite of passage and stuff like that. So that's another direction. They can do a female Predator solo movie that's kind of like Badlands, but I hope it doesn't go too much in this direction. I don't want Predator to feel too much like Star Wars. And really, that's the question. Like, how far is too far before it stops feeling like Predator movies? This one does a good job of doing that balance, but down the road, we can kind of be like, the best example I can think of is Terminator. Like, it started off really scary, and the first movie is arguably a slasher flick. And then the second one is more action-oriented. They changed the genre, but they put the Terminator front and center. I kind of mentioned that before, too. But that's what I mean. After that one, they go way off the rails, and it becomes so far, like, not even about the Terminators really anymore. And they just become
like
caricatures. Yeah, that's a good example too. Thank you, Sabrina. Kind of like Fast and the Furious. It started off very focused. It was all about the street racing. And now it's like Mission Impossible. They're doing like all these CIA missions, like spy missions all across the world. And
Yeah.
I don't even recognize the franchise anymore. That's something I'm kind of worried about with the Predator franchise. So, this was a good rendition, but just, don't do too much in this direction, please, because let's face it, all the other Predator movies are the same. Like just a group of people trying to fight off the predator, and the predator always loses. So maybe we can do that. We can have a female predator and she wins somehow. In a way, this movie kind of does that too without saying too much. But I did give you a spoiler warning before. So yeah, those are just a few of the ideas I have. As far as the Alien franchise could go, we could do, well, basically just do, you could have, like, maybe we can have even Ripley come back. I don't know if Sigourney Weaver's interested, but that'd be cool. Like, I think Alien should have a legacy sequel like that. I mean, if you can give I Know What You Did Last Summer a legacy sequel, why not Alien? You can have some of the other characters return from some of the other movies. I mean, how cool would that be? You get a movie with like Sigourney Weaver, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You could have Paul Reiser. I think he died in one of the Alien movies, but still, you could have like Bishop. He was a robot. Lance Henriksen's still alive, so maybe he can be in that movie.
Yeah, well, look at the horror movies.
Yeah.
They never died.
Exactly. Like, this is the franchise that can never die. So I'm so glad there's this resurgence in the sci-fi horror, because I grew up with Predator and I grew up with Alien, and I have a lot of fond memories watching them with my siblings. As a 90s kid, I had all these things growing up, and I was really lucky for that. So they could do a lot of different things for like new entry points, so they can get new fans, and there could be a whole new generation that was like, yeah, I was a 2025 kid and I grew up in the 20s, and this is the movies that I grew up with, and I want people to have those experiences. I just hope they go in the right direction. So do you agree with my ideas? Is there an idea that maybe I didn't think of, like maybe might be cool? Because they mentioned, oh, wrong button. Oopsie, I made myself tiny. Here I am. Because Trash and Bird did mention that Star Wars was a big influence on this movie. That's why most of the time, Thea, she's a robot, but she loses her legs, and then Dex puts her like on her back, kind of like how Chewbacca carries around C-3PO. I just don't want this to be too Star Warsy, because that's its own thing. And Predator, it started off, just like I said, it's this like hardcore, like violent, like horror sci-fi movie, and actually it starts off as like a war movie too, and then it kind of halfway through it kind of changes. It's very genre defining, and I think that's what Predator should be. It should keep pushing boundaries like that, and that's what I like about Trachtenberg. So I have not really high hopes, but I'm cautiously optimistic about this. I mean, for Alien, I just don't want it to be too repetitive of itself either, because you got people stuck on a ship and they have to escape the aliens. That's basically every movie. So maybe we can get someone to come in, but don't do a Predator main character movie. An Alien main character movie, because they've always been kind of more like wild animals. They don't have that sophistication or like the intelligence of the Predators. So that's what I'm hoping to see. Like, I do want to see another AVP movie. I just want it to be a good AVP movie, one that I can be proud of, because the first one's okay, but it does feel watered down, and the second one's just a complete mess. But if you want to hear more about that, you can watch my Predator ranking video from before. I think I covered pretty much everything, and that's my little rant. This is Jax. Apparently he wants to be on camera for a moment. Hi, buddy. He wants a little bit of love. Do you agree with my opinions, Jax? Oh, he wagged his tail. That means yes. Let me just check my notes to make sure I covered everything. I don't want to leave anything out. I mentioned Bishop. Oh, that's one thing about Alien Ramas that I didn't really like. They brought back a character that, well, the actor's dead now, so I don't know how I feel about them using like AI and stuff like that to recreate the image or to recreate the voice of an actor that's not with us anymore.
That's disrespectful.
That's what I mean. That's very disrespectful. So if you're going to bring characters back, make sure they're still with us. Make sure they're please still alive. Don't bring back Rook from Alien Romulus. That wasn't cool. And where's Michael Fassbender? I almost forgot to mention him. Oh, I forget his character's name, but yeah, he was in some of the other Alien movies. He was in Covenant. Hold on, we'll go to IMDb real quick. I'm gonna hold that thought. He was in Covenant, and he was in Prometheus. I got there. But let's see. I forget his character's name. This is gonna drive me nuts. Prometheus. Michael Fassbender. I want his character to come back. That would be really cool too. I almost forgot to mention him. Go away, not sponsored. David. I should have known. I shouldn't. I can't believe I forgot that. That's embarrassing. But yeah, the David character can come back from the Alien franchise. And you can even have Guy Pearce come back as Peter Wayland. So how cool would that be if you have a movie with like Michael Fassbender in it, and then you got Sigourney Weaver, then you got Guy Pearce, and then you got Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny Glover. Even if it was animated, just the fact that you got all these characters in one movie and you got the voice actors, like the same people that played those original roles, just have one big, massive legacy sequel. It can even be like its own trilogy. You can have an AVP trilogy. How cool would that be? Like its own story. But you got to build up to it first. You don't want to just dive into it. Where am I? Okay, here I am. All right, so that's my personal thoughts and feelings and speculations about the Alien movies and the Predator movies. I've been going on for an hour, 46 minutes. That feels like it's a good, healthy amount of time. I feel like I've talked enough. So yeah, do you agree with my opinion? What kind of things do you want to see happen in the Predator franchise, the Alien franchise? And when they eventually cross paths and we get that AVP movie, what kind of things do you want to see in it? What's something else that I haven't thought of before that, oh, that's something else I forgot to mention. Trachtenberg, he said there was 3 ideas that he wanted to do. One of them was Prey. No, sorry, one of them was Killer of Killers. One of them was Predator Badlands. But now there's this third mysterious idea that he keeps teasing that he has, but he hasn't really divulged at all. So I'm curious, too, what is this big, massive third idea that he has that he won't tell us yet? Because he's not ready to. Like, he still wants to develop the idea, and I get that. But there's the question. What is this third idea? So that's tonight's episode. I hope you enjoyed. Leave comments below about your opinions on the Predator franchise and the Alien franchise. I'd very much like to see what people think about this. And do you agree with my opinion? Yay or nay? That's tonight's show. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Next week, I'm going to make sure that you get your families, make sure that you get your kids. I'm going to talk about the Christmas animated shorts. So we're going to talk about like the claymations from the old days, and we're going to talk about some of the newer ones, like Shrek the Halls and Paw Patrol's got a Christmas special. So Sabrina and I have been watching these animated specials, and we're going to talk about the classics too, from Rankin Bass, the claymations. So that includes like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, The Year Without Santa Claus, The Grinch, of course, the original one.
And all of December is all going to be Christmas.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you heard that, but all of December is going to be Christmas movies. So stay tuned because it's the season. And remember, should a Predator movie feel like a Star Wars movie?
My opinion?
You
No.
decide. Have a good night. Oh,
At the movies.
oh, wait a minute. Have a great day. Wait. Take 2. There we go. So, until next time.
I'll see you at the movies.
Have a great day. Did you know that I'm a film critic for HorrorBuzz.com? You can read my reviews on their website, and I make frequent appearances on their YouTube channel, HorrorBuzz Live. So I'll leave links below for that too.